Hello, everyone. I'm really excited to be here today. And as Gretchen said, I'm the CEO and co-founder of Rice. And we turn organic byproducts into ingredients. And we're starting with the brewery industry. And we take the spent grain and we convert it into a flour. And today I'm going to talk about food waste. Specifically, how can we resurrect food waste? How can we go from the brewery to the table? So food waste is like a really hot topic. In fact, I just Googled it, and there's 16 billion hits of people talking about food waste. And when we usually think about food waste, we think something like in this picture: rotten vegetables and spoiled fruits. But food waste has more nuance than we're seeing here. Food waste comes from different streams, like from harvesting. When we see crops that are not the standard, what is the standard, what a good crop means? Or from buying, when we, the consumers or the business owners, we see a fruit or a vegetable and we have beauty standards, like this doesn't look pretty, so it doesn't have good nutrition, or it's not like a good thing for humans to eat. Or when we consume in this era of abundance, we sometimes tend to buy more than what we can consume. So many things get spoiled, and we usually just throw it away. And one of the one that catch my attention more is when we're processing it. Many times when food manufacturers, beverage manufacturers process something, there's something called the byproducts or the leftovers. And many times they think this is just good enough for the landfills or for composting this or to give it to the animals. But this is also food waste. And it looks like this. It doesn't look appetizing. It doesn't even look like food. Like here we have some grape skins from the wine making process. But this is food. And actually, there's many solutions to what we can do with food waste. This is the EPA hierarchy of food recovery. When the first one is, of course, let's reduce in the source, and the last is send it to the landfill. But between there are like options, which the first one is to feed humans. That's the most important one. Then animals, then industrial uses, and finally composting. But it doesn't matter what the company is trying to do. They all have similar challenges. The big challenge is that food spoils. It spoils because it has so amazing nutrition. It has amazing things inside. So not only humans, but only other organisms like microbes or fungi, they want to have it. And sometimes it spoils fairly quickly, sometimes in a couple hours. Some of the fruits or vegetables, they are done. You cannot do anything else with it. And finally, there's a lot of it. Actually, in the United States alone, every year, 54 million tons of food is wasted. It goes to a landfill. And this is horrible because we have a country where there are like 50 million plus people in the United States that are going hungry. Why we're throwing away so much food? And this is really sad. But fortunately, there are many companies, including Rice, that are trying to have like strategies to work so we can resurrect food waste. There's different strategies, like some companies are targeting logistics. So we can go from point A to point B in a more optimal way. Some other companies are targeting technology. So we can have better packaging or better storing sources so we can do it better and food doesn't get rotten. Regulation. New York has a zero waste initiative where there's like the organic law that it makes people like business to reduce food waste. And of course, there's nonprofits that are doing a fabulous job in awareness. So to make consumers not to be so wasteful. And Rice, we believe that all the four of them are really important. So with Rice, we are specifically targeting food waste that come from the process, from the industry. And we believe that the main thing that you can do with that is to feed humans. So when we first started the rice journey, we were trying to say, like, how can we make waste something value? And we saw that there was a lot of things, like great solutions for paper, cardboard, and metal. But when it comes to organic byproducts, there was nothing, because there's no infrastructure to deal with it. And especially when we come to the cities, there's nothing. Basically, there's only two solutions. You either make it less wasteful in the source, or you throw it to the landfills. In rural environments, maybe you can feed it. Sometimes you feed it to the animals. And in cities like New York, we don't have landfills anymore. So our waste go all the way to Ohio or the Carolinas. So it sometimes travels more than 600 miles. So this is really horrible, like in an environmental level. So we came and we were thinking, like, okay, what can we do locally? And we thought about Brooklyn. Brooklyn has commonalities with many urban environments. There's a growing industry in all these urban environments. That's the brewery, the craft breweries. And you know what's something really interesting from the craft breweries? That they have a lot of food waste. But how can they have a lot of food waste? You can ask yourself. And the thing is, like, every time a 6-pack is produced, 1 pound of spent grain is thrown to the landfill. And if you are, this is spent grain. So if you don't know too much about this, spent grain is a byproduct of the beer industry. You need 4 main ingredients to make beer, and the malted barley is the main one. So what you do is, like, you boil malted barley with water. This water converts into your beer, and this mash that remains, that's called spent grain. And this has fabulous nutrition, high fiber, high protein, and very low in carbs. So when you're throwing away this, you're throwing away a solution for hunger, for food. So that's why we partnered with our local brewers to collect the spent grain. Because it's not like they don't want to use it. Actually, if there's home brewers here, probably you have done like some cookies or bread from your spent grain. But there's no commercially available solution to treat the spent grain. Actually, in Brooklyn, in New York, farmers don't come because it's so far, and they don't want to pay the tolls. And that happens in many urban environments. And you know what's the worst? That it's not, of course, it's a problem because of environment, but also it costs a lot to the beer industry. The beer industry has to pay $1.2 billion just in the disposing costs. So that's why we started partnering with local breweries, and we have a patent pending process in which we take this and we dehydrate it. In that way, it will not spoil so quickly. It will spoil, like spent grain spoil in 6 hours, and now will spoil in 1 year. And our patent pending technology can also work with soy milk byproduct, grape juice byproducts, wine byproducts, and any other type of byproducts. And then, we convert it into a flour. And this flour has amazing nutrition. 12 times the fiber of normal flour, 2 times the protein of normal flour, and 1/3 of the carbs. And we have been partnering with chefs and bakers, and they love the flexibility because it has like amazing flavor profiles. It has like a nutty taste or a chocolate kind of undertones. And they have done like many different things. Like here is a shortbread cookie. That's the one that Gretchen was talking about that she tasted. But they have also made bread, pasta, pizza dough, like you name it. And pricing-wise, so wheat flour is white flour is heavily subsidized, so we cannot compete with that. But nutrition-wise, we are better we have the similar nutrition and sometimes even better nutrition than premium flours like coconut, almond, and cricket, and we have 1/3 of the price. We are a team of PhDs, technology management, mechanical engineers, so we're heavily research-oriented. So that's why we have been partnering with chefs and bakers in the area, and they have helped us create really amazing recipes. Also, education is key for this type of new ingredients. So that's why we are constantly doing different dinners so we can really show how brewery can come to the table. And we can also, like, people are amazed when they are drinking the Pilsner, and they're also eating their pizza, made exactly from the same grain. And if you are interested, we are going to throw a dinner next month, so you can come and talk to me. But also, we have noticed that to control food waste, you have to do it locally. That's why, like, next fall, we're opening our facility in the Brooklyn Army Terminal. So remember that waste exists because we haven't found a way to make it into a resource. So if you want to fight with me food waste, please contact me to bertha@riceproducts.co. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bertha.